Hi, it's Hope and welcome to the video. This is going to be my final book haul of 2021 minus my Christmas presents because I know I got a couple books for Christmas. I know that because, well, my mom told me, but Christmas is still a few days away at this point. So I figured to do a final haul because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 books that I've hauled since October, maybe, I think. So I'll go through these. I'll tell you where I got them from, how much I paid if I remember, and a little bit about the book. And some of these, I think all but a couple I've actually read so far. So the first book is Before I Fall by Laruen Oliver, and this I got for 2 books at a used book sale, like the next 2 as well. But my local, like, mental health organization, every few months, I think they do it about 3 times a year, they do, like, a book sale where all the money goes towards my local mental health, like, organization, and so this was one of them that I grabbed. So I am going to just read this because I actually know nothing about it. The only reason I bought it was because I've heard good things about it, and it's Laruen Oliver, and I read the Delirium trilogy by Laruen Oliver, May 2019, so like 2.5 years ago, and I found that series like mediocre. So what if you only had one day to live? What would you do? Who would you kiss, and how far would you go to save your own life? Samantha Kingston has it all: the world's most crushworthy boyfriend, 3 amazing best friends, and the first pick to everything at Thomas Jefferson High. From the best table in the cafeteria choice to the choicest parking spot, Friday, February 12th should be just another day in her charmed life, and instead it turns out to be her last. Then she gets a second chance, 7 chances in fact, reliving her last day during one miraculous week. She has untold a mystery surrounding her death and discovering the true value of everything that she has in danger of losing. That sounds really good. Also, apparently this book takes place a day before my birthday. I didn't realize that. I actually have never read that description before. Oops, buys books, doesn't even know what they're about. But this sounds really good. This feels like it could be, again, kind of like if I read this. Oh, I just had a stupid idea. February 12th of 2022 is a Saturday. What if I spent all of that day reading this book and just reliving all of the February 12th on February 12th. I wish it was a Friday though. It's a Saturday. It's close enough, right? So yeah, that's book 1. And this I paid $2 for. I can't remember if I mentioned that. Also, if these books are ever out of frame, I can't see what I'm doing. My viewfinder's on the back of my camera, so I can't see what the hell I'm doing. Book 2 is Clockwork Princess by Cassandra Clare. This is the hardcover. I own a paperback of this. So why do I need a hardcover, you may ask? Because it's one of my favorite books. Like, it's probably one of my top 10 books. And yeah, this is the 3rd book in the Infernal Devices trilogy. The first book being Clockwork Angel, which I should have just grabbed. It's up on the shelf. But we follow Tessa Gray, who moves from New York to London, and we are in, like, the Victorian era of London. I can't remember exactly what year it takes place in off the top of my head. But essentially we have Tessa, who discovers the Shadow World after being saved by Shadow Hunters. Essentially, Shadow Hunters are humans with angel abilities. Like, they're humans with angel blood, and that gives them, like, special abilities. And that's all I'm going to say. I literally love this book so much that I saw this at the book sale and was like, it's Cassandra Clare, might as well grab it. And that also correlates to the next one, The Lost Book of the White by Cassandra Clare. This is a first edition I got for $2 fucking. Literally, and the only damage is that it literally doesn't even look red. But I got this because it has a reversible dust jacket, and on my copy I have this cover. So there's like 2 different covers, one that matches book 1, and then they switched the cover for book 2, which I hated. This cover, I much prefer the other one. But this is the 2nd book in the Eldest Curses series, where essentially we follow 2 characters from the Shadowhunter Chronicles, Alec and Magnus, as in the first book they are in, like, where is it? Is it Paris? Is it Paris? I can't remember. Like, through Europe, as they're traveling through Europe. And then this takes place in Shanghai. Yeah, Shanghai, China. Like, it's like 5 years after the first book, and these books kind of like take place in between stories of the other Shadowhunter books. So, yeah, why do I need two copies? Because they're first editions. That's my explanation. The next two books are from Amazon, and so the first one is The Kingsman by Nora Sakavic. This is the alternate dust jacket cover by LL Starcaster LL. But essentially this is the third and final book in the Off of the Game trilogy, the first book being The Foxhole Court, where essentially we follow Neil, who ends up joining this university for XC after being offered a spot on the team. And XC is kind of like lacrosse, but make it violent and just a little bit different. And he accepts this position, even though it will bring him to the spotlight because the team is well known. They're well known for being kind of crappy, but he joins anyways, and this brings him to the spotlight, and people from his past kind of get wrapped in and all of that. Definitely check out the trigger warnings for this series, as I could probably spend 5 minutes like listing them off and probably forget some. But I like love this book so much, so much. I just finished my reread last month, so that's why I'm like, but yeah. That made a loud noise. And the next book is Persuasion of Deceit by Antonia Kane, and you may notice that's not the name that it says on the book. Toni Wall switched her name to Antonia Kane as like an author name. So yeah, I literally happened to buy this book, I think maybe 2 weeks before she made the announcement, which I'm kind of bummed about, because yes, I'd love to have the like matching book for whenever book 2 comes out. But honestly, I like this because like it kind of, if someday she becomes a really big author, which fingers crossed because this book was amazing, that I have this cover. But this cover with this name. But essentially this we have Raven, who ends up trying to take down this king with like the help of her father's best friend, and some of her friends, and this king can like mind control you. And I'm like struggling to describe this, even though I've read it twice. This book, my name is in the acknowledgements. I beta read through this book, my name is in the acknowledgements. That's why I needed a copy of this book. Also, it's a great book. It's like a solid four star. It's like a new adult medieval. I'm gonna shut up. I literally feel like I'm a spokeswoman for this at this point. I'm always like, you want an underrated book? Here, take it. Ow. And the next two books were gotten from Indigo at the same time, and I'm actually currently reading one of them, and that is Kingdom of the Wicked and Kingdom of the Curse by Kerri Maniscalco. And essentially, well, it's book 1 and book 2 in the Kingdom of the Wicked series. So I will just explain Kingdom of the Wicked, which I'm currently like 100 pages into it. Essentially, we follow Amelia, who, when her sister Victoria dies, Amelia kind of tries to figure out who murdered her sister, but in doing so, she ends up summoning one of the 7 princes of hell named Wrath, and she summons him because she and her sister are witches, and there is this demon trying to kill witches. Is that a spoiler? This other demon that's trying to kill witches, is that a spoiler? Maybe that's a spoiler. Oops. But yeah, these two books from Indigo. What else can I say? I'm currently reading this, and I'll be reading this later this week as well. The next book is The Kiss Quotient by Helen Hoang, and this I paid like $4 for, off of like a local Facebook marketplace. And essentially this, all I know is we follow 30-year-old Stella, who has Asperger's, and she has never really not understood dating, but like has never really understood dating. So she ends up hiring an escort to teach her that, and in doing so falls in love with him. I've heard amazing things about this. Like everyone that I've heard talk about this has said good things. So when I saw it on my local Facebook marketplace, I was like, fine, I guess so. And this is like one of the only no, this is the only adult contemporary romance I own. I own a couple of new adult contemporary romance, but not adults. And this is definitely a little bit smutty. So definitely catch me reading it just being like, please but nobody walk in and read over my shoulder. The next book is like, I think the most beautiful book on my shelf, and that is Bonded Fate by Beck Micheals. This is the second book in the Guardians of the Maiden series, the first book being Divine Blood. And essentially in Divine Blood, we follow Dinah, who every 10 years in her village, there is this kind of mysterious thing called the Shadow that comes into the village and kills people, and Dinah wants to stop this. So she ends up setting off to this mysterious place that is only rumored to exist, and in doing so, her cousin Zev joins the journey, as well as a celestial named Cassiel, who Dinah and Zev meet on the way, and it is kind of like, it's really good. This is book 2, but we have red, kind of like silvery sprayed edges, and this is the special edition that is only available, well, it's no longer available, but it was only available on Beck Micheals' website in like a book box, but fingers crossed it will be available for book 3, which is Shattered Souls, when that comes out. But it has this gorgeous, like, freaking, like, full design with a quote on the back that says, "It was a kiss made of sunlight and wishes and unyielding possibilities." And then it also is signed and then has an exclusive story, if I can find it. Yeah, and then it has like a bonus chapter that's only available in this edition. And this is like the best purchase I've ever made, because like to get it and the couple bonus items it came with cost me like $70. I mean, the book is worth, if you read the inside, is worth $44.99 Canadian. This, I think, is the most expensive book I own, I think. And it's worth every penny. And these next 2 books were also gotten from my local Facebook marketplace for $10 each. These are brand new, and that is Fable by Adrienne Young and Namesake by Adrienne Young. And I actually don't know much about this, so I'm gonna put Namesake in the pile, but that's book 2, and this is book 1. And essentially, I'll read this. Welcome to the world made dangerous by the sea of those who wish to profit from it, where a young girl must find her place and her family while trying to survive in a world built for men. 17-year-old Fable, the daughter of the most powerful trader in the Narrows, the sea is the only home she's ever known. It's been 4 years since the night she watched her mother drown during an unforgiving storm. The next day her father abandoned her on a legendary island filled with thieves and little food. To survive, she must keep to herself, learn to trust no one, and rely on the unique skills her mother taught her. The only thing that keeps her going is the goal of getting off the island, finding her father, and demanding her rightful place beside him and his crew. To do so, Fable enlists the help of a young trader named Wes to get her off the island and across the Narrows to her father, but her father's rivalries and the dangers of his trading empire have only multiplied since she last saw him, and Fable soon finds out that West isn't who he seems. Together they have to survive more than just the treacherous storm that haunts the Narrows if they're gonna stay alive. That actually sounds really good. All I knew before reading that was really the main character's name was Fable, and it like kind of is like set on the sea. That's literally all I knew before reading that. But yeah, I'm really excited to read this. Fingers crossed for 2022. But who knows? So those are the books I've hauled. Those are the last books I'm hauling for 2021 before 2022. Again, minus Christmas presents. Let me know if you have read any of these books and your opinions on it, especially if they are the few that I haven't read. But I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you didn't know, this is day something, I'm not sure, of my 12 Days of Bookmas, so I will leave that playlist linked below, as there are, well, I'm uploading 12 videos in 12 days, aka I'm bulk filming stuff. The 12 Days of Bookmas starts tomorrow, and I only have 3 or 4 videos filmed. Ay, why did I agree to do this? But I really hope you enjoyed this video. I've already said that, so I'm going to end this video here. Bye!